Hello, my little angels. This is Miss Lewis, and it is week 9 of quarter 3. Technically, we have 9.5 weeks of quarter 3, so we have this week and 4 days of next week before we finish out this quarter. So that means we have 9 days left, and until spring break, actually. So 5 days this week, 4 days next week. Any late work that you have that you haven't turned in yet that is overdue past the deadline is due next Monday, March 8th. That is the last day that I will accept any late work. I'm one of the few teachers who still keeps my folders open for students who have late work. And I do that because I know that there are situations where students are sick, sometimes family members are sick, and there are extenuating circumstances. So I do not close out my folders. Some teachers close them out after the deadline, and you cannot get back into them. You're going to find that sometimes as you get older and as you go on in different grade levels. I keep my folders open. Some people get a late work point deduction when they turn in work late, but I still allow them to do the work. So please keep in mind, regardless, March 8th, Monday, March 8th is the very last day you can turn in late work in order for me to get it graded and counted for quarter 3. Because Friday, March 12th is record day, and our grades have to be finalized. And you would be amazed at how many assignments I get turned in. I will get caught up, and then all of a sudden I will get bombarded with people turning in, 5 weeks worth of work, and it's crazy. So please make sure you turn it in. Also, if you're turning in assignments and they're like articles, sometimes some of you guys will do one attempt on an article and then you'll take your second attempt. Please know that I do not get a notification when you do an article like on Jackie Robinson. I get notifications when you submit an assignment in Schoology. I will be notified about that. So that's how I know to go in and grade it. Like if you do the Celebrate Literacy Week project, I get a notification you did that. Or analyzing the text questions on Black Ships Before Troy, I get that. I go in and I check the big quizzes, Medusa's Head and Black Ships Before Troy. But some of those little article quizzes that you do from like week 3 or week 4, we're already in week 9. I don't get notified that you did that. So you have to send me an email and tell me that you did those. Otherwise, that means I have to go back through every single week and check every single class and every single kid. And frankly, I don't have a lot of time to do that. So please let me know if you are going back, way back and submitting assignments. How do you know if you're missing assignments? You check focus and you look for the Z's and you look for the blanks. As of Saturday, I'm caught up all the way through week 8. So every single thing that was graded as of Saturday evening all the way up to week 8 is put in focus. If you turn something in after Saturday evening at like 7 or 8 o'clock, then it wasn't graded. Week 8, I will grade tomorrow because that deadline was actually tonight at 11:59. And as you guys can hear and see, people are still turning in work. So I will grade week 8 first thing in the morning. And then this week's work is due Sunday, March 7th. So I will spend all of that week leading up to record day grading that. That's why I cannot take a last minute onslaught of missing assignments, dating all the way back from the beginning of the 9 weeks. March 8th is your cutoff. Okay, so this week, you guys, our focus is on writing our informative essay. We're going to add an introduction paragraph, and we're also going to add our first body paragraph. You have 3 assignments this week. 2 of those are writing, as we said. One of those, if you take a look in the folder, this is our folder, is a long walk to water. You're going to do a storyboard. Next week, you're going to have a quiz on chapters 1 through 10 in A Long Walk to Water. You have one last extra credit opportunity, and that's a quiz on a poem called Truth. So we're going to get more into poetry because after writing, we're going to focus on poetry and some of the reading standards. This is actually a really short poem on called Truth. And one of the questions in there deals with tone. Your guys are going to start to be exposed to a lot of questions about tone and word choice. So I included a video on this directions page about tone. I give you the directions and I've attached a copy of the poem there, so make sure you read it. But this is your last chance to earn some extra credit in the classwork category. For those of you who have not been attending the live lessons, you're missing out on some extra instruction on writing and some other areas. So try to attend those live lessons because the people who are, they're getting some extra skills and they're also earning extra credit in Bullbucks. But if you can't for some reason, then at least be taking advantage of these things like this extra credit poem quiz. For every question you answer correctly, you earn 1 point. Even if you are going to the live lessons, take advantage of this as well. This can help you. So 4 questions, you can earn up to 4 points there. The other extra credit opportunity, the contest deadline is March 10th. This is a little more involved. It's a Holocaust reflection contest, and you can enter one of 3 ways. It's sponsored by Nova Southeastern College. There is a middle school division. The prizes are pretty large, but you can actually enter artwork. There's all kinds of different things. You could do an essay, and then I think there's one other thing you can do, maybe a video. So go in there and take a look if you're interested. The deadline for that is March 10th. So 2 extra credit opportunities, 3 assignments. Let's go through our assignments this week. I would suggest, if I were you, to start with assignment 3 this week and then go to 1 and 2. The reason for that is if you're going to go to our live lessons, which are on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m., I will cover a lot of this on Tuesday's lesson, and I'll cover this part actually. So I'll cover this on Tuesday and Thursday, and then I supplement it with some extra stuff. So if you're not going to those live lessons, try to show up because you can actually learn something there. So if you want to start with 3 first and then go to 1 and 2, it's totally up to you, whichever order you do them in. But definitely you'd have to do 1 first and then 2 because the essay writing has to go in order as far as the introduction paragraph and the body paragraph. All right, so let's take a look. Let's start first, if we can, at the introduction paragraph. Let me show you what that looks like, that assignment. All right, so we're going to write an introduction paragraph for our tropical rainforest informative essay. Last week, you guys did the planning and the thesis statement for it. This week, we write the intro paragraph. The hardest part about any assignment to include an essay is just getting started. And an intro paragraph, a lot of kids are like, I don't know how to start, I don't know how to begin. Well, this is the assignment where you will learn that. First thing you're going to do is view the PowerPoint because it's going to go over requirements that you have to have in your intro, strategies and ways and examples of how you can actually begin. Failure to do so, that means failure to go through that PowerPoint, is going to result in a very high probability of you having to redo this paragraph, and no one has time for that. I don't have time for that. Redo, sending you all these comments and making you submit and regrading it again, and you probably don't either. It's frustrating for you. It's frustrating for me. Please read the directions. Please go through the PowerPoint. Here's your prompt again. Remember, that was about describing the importance of preserving the rainforest. Preserving means what? Keeping it intact and saving it. Okay. Directions are review that prompt so you know what you're writing about. Always keep that prompt in the forefront of your mind. Next, open the PowerPoint below called Informative Introductions and go through each slide. This will show you each of the ways that you can begin your essay because there's more than one way. You're going to pick the way that feels comfortable to you and fits the topic. The average length of this paragraph is 5 sentences long. And one thing I want to stress with you guys is you should never, ever begin with your thesis statement. You wrote a thesis statement, which is the controlling idea of your essay. We did that in assignment number 2 last week. Never start with that. That is the last sentence in your intro. Also, you never, ever want to include first person pronouns I, me, or my in an essay. When you are doing a formal essay like this, and any type of essay, when you're doing like this on a prompt, it's formal writing. There should never be I, me, or my in that. And the way I tell kids to remember that is like this. Essay is spelled Essay. Nowhere in that word do you see, is that spelled with the letter I. There is no I in essay, and there should not be an I in your essay either. So no I, me, or my in that essay anywhere. It is always written, okay, objectively in third person. Third person is like we, he, she, they kind of, okay, language, more scientific textbook kind of language. All right, so never. Also, we're never going to say, today I'm going to tell you all about the why we should preserve the rainforest. No, 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 no. We're not saying that either. Just like the Nike slogan. Their Nike slogan is just do it. I want you to just do it. All right. So you will not say that. You're simply going to begin one of the ways I said. So a good intro is going to have a hook or grabber. It's going to have background on your topic, and then it will have a thesis. It has those 3 things in that order. And when you look at the PowerPoint, and I'll show you that in a second, you're going to see that. So we're going to go through the PowerPoint. Then I've attached a Word document below that you can actually type that intro paragraph on. So we have an introduction here, and we have a Word document. So let's go through that introduction PowerPoint. We're going to open that up, and it downloads right here. Then don't click Enable Editing. You don't need to edit it. Go to Slideshow from beginning. To advance through the slides, you're going to push the space bar, okay? And then what is an introduction? It's a roadmap, and it tells the reader what's going to go on in your essay. It hooks the reader and gets them to keep on reading, and it follows a formula. It has a hook, it has some informative sentences about your topic, and then it has your thesis. So it has those 3 things in that order. How can you begin? You can begin with an anecdote. That's a brief story that illustrates the point of your essay. Those are tricky, but they can be done if you can do it well. The tricky part is you don't want to start telling a story and then go way off topic and then forget all about your thesis and your essay. You can begin with a quotation, interesting or alarming statement taken directly from the text. You can begin with a rhetorical question, giving the reader a thought-provoking question that does not require a response. And a rhetorical question is a question, a deep question. All right, it's not a question that's a quick yes or no answer. It would not be a question like, do you think we should preserve the rainforest? Okay, that's not a rhetorical question. Or a description where you paint a picture in a reader's mind. Me personally, I'm a fan of the description one. An anecdote would be something like that. There's a quotation example, rhetorical question, and then a description. Informative sentences, that's the next step. They make a connection between the hook and the thesis. They're kind of like a bridge. I think Mrs. Colonna called it a bridge, and a bridge is a great way to say that. Gives the reader a little background about the topic. I like to call it a background. So it goes a hook or grabber, some background, kind of bridging it, and then we go to our thesis. Thesis statement is next, and that is the prompt reworded, okay, along with some of the reasons, brief reasons. And, okay, there's a sample introduction that someone did right there. that's not on your prompts, but it has a hook, it has some background info, and it has a thesis. You guys are going to write your own, intro paragraph using the handouts that we did on day 1 and 2, actually the ones we did for assignments 1 and 2, following the formula, hook, informative sentence, and thesis. Now, remember the prompt that we had, and one of the ways to hook our reader from slide 4 of this slideshow, was a description. So here's one that I actually wrote, and you could use the description there. It says, beneath the clear blue skies lie exotic plants and animals with their vibrant colors, making sounds from calming chirps to high-pitched screeches. These species of plants and animals call the tropical rainforest home. Without the existence of this rainforest, these plants and animals would cease to exist, and the world would never know of their beauty or their magic. The tropical rainforest is more than just a home for exotic species. It is so much more. I should have put more too many times, didn't I? All right, I have to kind of reword that a little bit. Then I want to insert my thesis. So I can begin with the description. And the description is so much better, because it's actually, it's imagery right there. So it pulls you in and makes a better impression. I'm not saying today I'm going to tell you why we should preserve the tropical rainforest. We don't begin that way. We can do, like we said, a description, an anecdote, a quotation, or like we said, rhetorical question if it's really good and well worded. So that's first assignment, like we said, is your intro paragraph. The other part, like I said right here, this is the Word document. It's blank. You can type on it. This is blank, and you're going to see, you're going to indent. When you start writing you're going to click enable it, so you can type on it. And then, just come down here. And then you're actually, I don't want to do that after that, so I'm going to go. And when I go to type, you actually want to save it. So on here, you want to save, auto save like that. When you go to save it yourself, you're going to want to give it a file, a name, and then indent 5 spaces when you actually go to type yours. Usually 12-point times New Roman font would be good, but 5 spaces to indent the first word in every single paragraph. Okay, so 5 to 7 sentences is usually your intro. You will save it. You will upload it. It's worth 20 points. You're going to be graded on the hook or grabber, background info on the topic, that you included a clear thesis statement that avoids any mention of first-person pronouns. I mean, free from basic errors and conventions, spelling, punctuation, capitalization, grammar. So proofread it first. Upload it to this assignment. That's assignment 1, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Next up. Assignment 2, as you can imagine, is your first body paragraph of that essay. This is where the Pearl, remember how we were teaching you guys all about the Pearl paragraph, where we have the point, the evidence, the analysis, repeats, which is repeating the evidence and the analysis of your evidence, and then the linking sentence. That's why we taught you that, because these body paragraphs are Pearl paragraphs. So here we go. First body paragraph of your tropical rainforest essay is nothing more than a Pearl paragraph. So now that you finish your intro, it's time to move on to writing that first body paragraph. We structure it like a Pearl paragraph, but I've given you a PowerPoint I want you to review called Building Body Paragraphs for your formative essay. It is attached below right here. Please take the time to go through that. If you go to the live lesson, I will go through that with you. This is a blank document again. Don't use it unless you need it, because I prefer that you use the same document you did for assignment 1 and you just add on to that. Add that first body paragraph to that, but you'll just submit it again for this with the first body paragraph. Now, body paragraphs have a transition at the beginning. So that's a word that actually, see, it starts with a transition, and you're going to choose one to the list. A transition are words that kind of help with the flow. So a transition for a body paragraph, you could say, first of all, or to begin with. okay, or first, comma, and then they kind of order our paragraphs, like we said, and they help with the flow of it. And I've attached a list of transitions right here for you, okay? And then the next thing you're going to want to do in your body paragraphs, so we said we have our point, which is our topic sentence, and that would be our first reason. We need evidence. The evidence we can get is from the planning sheet that we did last week, where you kind of were pulling evidence from those articles. Some of you struggle with how to introduce your evidence, so I have attached right here an evidence and elaboration sentence stems for you. And this kind of tells you, you put this before you put in a quote. So you could say the text states, and then you're going to go comma and then a quote, all right? And then you could put the source in parentheses afterwards. Now, you have to put this before a quote, all right? So you could say in source one, the text states, or like I said, the other way to do it, parenthetical citation, is to put your source in parentheses after the quotation. But you have to have that before you put the quote in. If you do not do that, you do not get credit for citing evidence. And some of you guys are just plopping those quotes in without giving credit, okay, to where you got the quote. And that does not give you credit at all. You'll get 0 points, okay, for citing evidence if you don't give credit to the source. The other thing you must do after inserting a quotation, even a paraphrase, you have to do this, okay, is to explain your evidence, and you can use these sentence stems to follow that evidence, okay? Mix them up a little bit. Don't use the same one again and again, because they like you to kind of mix it up and vary it a little bit. No one likes repetition in an essay like this at all. So this will help you, okay? That'll help you. The transitions will help you. I've included your 3 sources here too. So your first body paragraph, okay, should be, you're going to say, how long should that body paragraph be? 8 sentences, 10 at the longest. Some of you might be like, oh no, that's really long for a 6th grader. You could say, I'd say maybe, now you guys are in 6th grade, so I'd say, I don't know, 6 to 10, maybe for you guys. I might lower that to 6 to 10, especially if you're going to do 3 body paragraphs. But if you think about it, if you have a point, your point that you make, your topic sentence, evidence, explain your evidence, another sentence of evidence, another sentence explaining it, and then a linking sentence, minimum of 6. But your analysis of that evidence should be more than a sentence. It should actually be 2 sentences. So that's a minimum of like 8. Okay? And 8, that's putting you right at about 8. So that's why we usually say like 8 to 10. 10 might be pushing it for some of you. So I guess I could say 6 to 8 for 6th grade. For those body paragraphs, especially if you're going to do 3, 1 on each of your sources. So we could go to 6 to 8 for that one. That's your body paragraph. That's assignment number 2. You guys save it, upload it. It's worth 20 points. That's how you are scored. I'm grading it like a Pearl paragraph. Okay, looking for that transition, your topic sentence, 2 pieces of evidence, the analysis or explanation of your evidence, and then a linking statement, okay, tying it back to your point or linking it to your next paragraph. Okay, you can do either one with that. Look at the PowerPoint for that. That will explain so much for you, because I give you examples and samples and everything else. Last assignment number 3 is one walk to water. You're going to read chapter 10. We're doing something totally different with chapter 10 this week. So reading chapter 10, you're going to do a storyboard. You must, for the storyboard, some of you guys might have done it before. This one looks a little different. You're going to include a symbol, and you're going to summarize chapter 10 in 6 different boxes, where you include a picture or symbol, and then a 1-sentence summary with text evidence. You might be thinking I'm a little crazy on the text evidence. I'm doing that for a reason, so you get used to citing text evidence, finding text evidence, and it will make you a stronger writer. So here are the directions to that. First of all, here's what a symbol is, okay? So make sure you read that. A symbol is just something that is like a picture that represents something much deeper than just that picture. It stands for, it's an object that represents something deeper, okay, than just simply that object. It has a different meaning that is different and more significant. So a smiley face we know is happiness, like a rose, a red rose symbolizes love, okay? Romance. A yellow rose is friendship. Let's see, the flag stands for freedom, sacrifice, hope, liberty. All right. There's a video on symbolism I want you to watch below, but let me show you what you're going to do. After you read chapter 10, I want you to complete this storyboard template. It looks like this. All right. You're going to put the chapter number here. You're going to click enable editing. If you don't, you can't type on it. Novel title, Long Walk to Water. Capitalize the first letter of all important words of a title. You will put it in italics, which is the slanty print, or you underline it if you handwrite it. Put the author's name. Picture or symbol goes here. So you're going to take this out and you're going to insert a picture or symbol. This you can draw if you're actually drawing it. If not, you can insert a picture from Google Images. You can do an emoji, whatever you want. And you want it to fit in that box. So you want to size it to fit in that box. So, and then let's say the first box is Selva is crossing the Nile, and let's say maybe he's scared. Okay, so I can like find a picture or find something on Google Images that like shows fear, or something that symbolizes fear, or something that shows that he's scared, and then I'm going to write a one sentence summary, and then I'm going to find text evidence, a quote from the text. Okay. Now I'm going to say page such and such, and then I'm going to find one sentence, okay, that shows fear. I have only 6 boxes though to retell or summarize that chapter, okay, which is 10. Next week, we have a quiz on chapters 1 through 10. So you have to find 6 key events that summarize that chapter. Don't just pick random events, pick the 6 key events that actually retell that chapter. And you're going to remove this, okay, and actually insert the symbol there, okay? And then that's it for this week. Next week, like I said, we have a quiz, no reading, just a quiz. I'm going to put that back for you. You're going to put your name, period, but the author's name is actually on it. Novel title, you get points for that, and you get 3 points, 1 for each box. Google Images you may use, like I said, clip art, whatever you want, whatever you can do, and insert it right there, okay? That's it for this week. Extra credit we've already talked about. And any questions, feel free to email and message me. Registration's coming up. Next year you have 2 choices for classes, 7th grade regular, 7th grade advanced. That'll be based on the grades you're making, your work ethic, and teacher recommendation. If you have any questions about your placement, actually discuss with your parent, look in the course catalog, and kind of talk about it with your parents, see what classes you'll be taking next year. And then if you and your parent would like to talk to me about it, I'd be more than happy to talk to you guys. I can schedule a Teams conference. I can talk to you on the phone, whatever works best, and I can do it after hours. If your parent is working, I can accommodate their schedule, your schedule. So just message me or let me know if you guys have any questions about registration. Registration occurs through your science classes, so you should be hearing about it from Mrs. Pizzullo. All right, so you guys, your choices will be 7th grade regular, 7th grade advanced. Advanced moves at a faster pace, okay, usually more homework, and then the requirements should be listed in the course catalog. So live lessons this week, Tuesday, Thursday at 11 a.m., Okay, links for the Teams meetings will be put in updates right here. You can earn extra credit, and you can earn extra credit by doing this quiz and Holocaust reflection contests. Have a great week, everybody. Look forward to seeing your writing. If you need help, let me know. Take care. Bye bye.